Hi, we're joined with representatives from all of our core partners so that we can dig deeper and find a way that we can collaborate together. So thank you all for being here. To start off, Patricia, I wanted to ask you, how do you envision the partnerships improving the state of workforce here in Arizona?
Thank you for that question, Richie. I see that WIOA will afford us the opportunity to provide innovation to businesses and to job seekers that are looking to enhance and improve their ability to connect. WIOA also seeks to provide opportunities for those businesses and job seekers that are looking to connect and improve their positions.
Beverly, do you have anything to add to that?
I think an additional piece of our collaboration is for us to provide a comprehensive system for economic self-sufficiency. I also think that creating pathways to employment are really important for residents. I think additionally, our partners can collaborate to provide a comprehensive system to residents to improve their economic self-sufficiency. I also think that we can create pathways to training and employment for individuals for basic skills, all the way through higher educational skills for those residents who are ready to transition to post-secondary education.
Thank you. Michael, do you have anything to add to that?
Adding on to that, I agree that those are important elements of the enriched partnership. I also believe that we will be able to engage in better collaboration and a better, more clear shared vision across the entities that are involved in this important work.
And Kristen, what do you think?
I think WIOA, just the nature of the terminology, innovation and opportunity, it's giving us a new opportunity to work together as partners to create systems that will not only reach the folks at the lowest levels, and it will provide opportunities to individuals with barriers.
Thanks. There are a lot of challenges that come with collaboration. What do you think the greatest challenge that we face is, Beverly?
I definitely think the shared data management system is an important challenge to overcome for all of the partners.
What do you think about that, Michael?
I absolutely agree that we need to be able to share data across all of the lines that exist throughout the workforce system. I also think it's important that on a day-by-day basis we remember that we're here to serve individuals and that we don't get caught up in regulations and federal and state bureaucracy, and instead we focus on the individual's needs and serve them every day, every time we engage.
Patricia, what are your thoughts on that, on the greatest challenges we face?
I completely agree with everything that's been said, but I also think that shared performance metrics are going to be a very important piece so that we all understand what we're delivering every day and how that's going to be measured. I also think that technology is going to be a considerable challenge for us to figure out and overcome so that we can make sure that we're helping not only the partners connect, but helping our job seekers and employers connect as well.
How can the partner staff learn all that is encompassed within WIOA? Michael, do you have any thoughts on how staff can wrap their heads around this?
Absolutely. There's a wealth of information available about WIOA and core employment services. You can read state plans, you can read the regulations, you can visit advocate websites like those put together by AFSA and CLASP. Those are important indicators of what's going on and how things are changing in this new environment.
And Kristen, what are your thoughts?
I think that we are all a wealth of knowledge to prepare and give technical assistance to each other. We each have our own areas of expertise, and we can provide that information and knowledge to our partner programs so that our individuals who are seeking employment and the employers can benefit from the knowledge base of all core partners.
Beverly, what about your employees in your organization?
I think we're in a unique position. We have employees for the Arizona Department of Education, Adult Education Services, and we subcontract to 24 adult education providers around the state of Arizona. So we have multiple levels of challenges, but I think an opportunity is, as Kristen said, to do joint training across all partner agencies and to really look at that initial orientation intake process for all of our partners so that our clients are better served and not having to go through multiple hoops of orientation with different agencies to better meet their needs.
And what about the county employees, Patricia? Where do they learn about WIOA and how can they learn more?
I think that not only do we have the wealth of knowledge and knowledge exchange through our partner network, but we also look to national opportunities to gain some of that knowledge through the National Association of Workforce Boards, and really just making sure that we have the most up-to-date information from Department of Labor so that we can execute and implement these laws as they're in the true spirit of the law.
Since there's so much that is involved in this law as employees of these agencies, it's easy, I think, to get bogged down in the day-to-day. How can employees stay motivated? Beverly, how do your employees stay motivated, and what can they do to stay motivated throughout the process?
I think really engaging with each other on the importance of our work and what role we play in collaborating with our partner agencies, and also to celebrate our students and our clients' success. One of the most fun things that we do as a staff is that we go out to high school equivalency diploma ceremonies, and we get to see those students that were successful in obtaining their high school equivalency, and we get to celebrate with the programs and celebrate with the students, and that helps us really value the work that we do.
So really connecting with the customers and not having them just be, numbers and cases in a file. Patricia, what about you? How do county employees stay connected and motivated?
That's a great question, Richie. Really, I think a lot of it has to do with sharing customer successes as well as sharing data and how we're doing. And so that performance metrics is really important so that we can not only see how we're measuring up to the rest of the state and how we're doing as a total state, but just really how we're doing on an individual level from a customer service standpoint and making sure that we're meeting the customer, both business and job seeker, where we need to.
And Michael or Kristen, do either of you have any thoughts on employee motivation?
Absolutely. These are our neighbors. This is our community. We have to own the important work that we're doing every single day. We have to be consequential and be present for the individuals that need us to be amazing every single day. The community is depending on us to be positive and proficient as we engage in these activities. So yeah, there's a lot to learn. There's a lot of complexity associated with these programs, but it's incumbent upon us to learn as much as we can and be as engaged as we can possibly be so that we can see the positive outcomes individual by individual in our community. That's how we're going to see overall success.
What about you, Kristen?
Absolutely. Just to tag on to that, at the end of the day, it's all about the client and the client obtaining the job and being able to maintain a wage that they can live on. And that's really why we're here. We're here to help individuals become as self-sufficient as possible. And so in doing so, then we also thrive the economy, where businesses are filling their open positions and they're growing and thriving, and that just benefits the state as a whole.
What opportunities can our partners' staff look forward to in the future as they stay connected and we connect more and collaborate more? What's ahead for collaboration? What about you, Beverly? What do you think?
I think that having this as an initial introduction to staff is wonderful. I also think continued joint communication among the core partners. I think regular planning meetings, especially with the leadership teams from the core partners, are essential. And I also think that as core partners, we should do some site visits and job shadowing to learn more about what each other does to help our clients.
And Kristen, what do you think on that?
I think that the state as a whole has gotten off to a great start with engaging the community partners, and training events just as this are kind of unheard of. We've never done this before, but we are all working together, and it's been just a fantastic opportunity to be able to learn about each other's programs and each other's client base also, so that we know where we can link our resources and leverage our funds to be able to better serve the clients in the community.
And Patricia, what is the county looking forward to in the future with collaboration?
Well, I think that we definitely want to make sure that training courses like this are available and made available throughout the state, and so that we can make sure that staff have the resources that they need to be able to perform and provide the excellent customer service that Michael was referring to, so that we can ensure that we meet the job seeker and the business where they're at every single day.
And Michael, anything to add?
Yeah, we are absolutely going to be moving forward with better coordinated communication. It is important that we solidify the work that we're doing day by day, but I also think that it's equally important, and the thing that I'm looking forward to as we proceed into the WIOA environment is the outside of the box thinking that this piece of legislation allows for us. We know what we've been doing up to this point, and we need to continue to get better at those things, but we have an opportunity here to really think outside the box and do some creative and innovative things here in Arizona, and it's going to be fun to be a part of that.
So there's a lot of data collection required under the law. How are you and your agencies working to reduce the redundancy of data collection? We'll start with you, Michael.
Yeah, at the Department of Economic Security, we have a great opportunity to integrate several programs together from a data collection perspective. And so one of the major initiatives that we're going to be moving forward with is integrating the TANF employment application into the overall data collection environment that we've already created. In addition, we'll be continuing to work on improving the Arizona JobConnection.gov website so that that's more functional and contains more information that's integrated with all of our job seekers and our employers.
And what about you, Patricia, with Arizona at Work?
So I think that we are looking at how we can best connect to these systems, and by talking to all the core partners and making sure that we understand what each of us needs to do in this space is really, really important. So I think communication is the biggest component that's going to be critical in moving forward.
And Beverly, what about you?
We're looking also at working with our core partners to standardize some processes, like collecting the data that we need. We have unique data sets that we have to collect for Title II as well as Title I and the common performance measures. And then again, looking at our standardized processes for intake and orientation. That is another data set that we need to collect. And we need to do that as a unified system.
And Kristen, any thoughts on that?
Yes, actually, as a core partner, we are all looking at our policies and our procedures to see, where can our policies and procedures be amended or changed so that we can influence each other's data collection sets. How can we help each other with the data collection that's needed across all of the core partners so that we can produce data that is meaningful to everybody with the data.
Patricia, what kind of systems are in place to assist workforce staff when they have an idea that could assist leadership or the program?
I think that through the WIOA, we've made it possible for staff to share ideas up and across the system so that we can make sure that those are heard and shared across the network.
What about at your agency, Michael?
Absolutely. One of our core competencies as we move forward with WIOA implementation is going to be listening. We recognize that it's those individuals that are on the front line that are really going to be able to inform our best practices. We're going through a system of changes at the Department of Economic Security where we're integrating a lot of lean principles and practices. It's going to be exceptionally important to inform those new principles and practices with frontline experience. What is really working out there? And so we're going to be engaged in a significant amount of listening, so I definitely encourage folks to take advantage of the systems that were discussed previously that are there to bubble up great ideas.
And Kristen, do you have any thoughts on that?
Absolutely. We talked about the customer not having a wrong door. All the doors for management are open for and receptive to ideas and information from the field so that we can incorporate that. We rely heavily on our field staff to tell us what works and what doesn't work, or maybe how something could change for the better. So we want our field staff to feel comfortable to tell management and their executive leadership, how things might be able to change and what we can do to help that happen.
We've touched on this a little bit before already, but Michael, how important is the work that the workforce system is currently involved in for our communities?
I can't overstate the critical nature of this work. When you think about the number of individuals that are looking for employment in order to meet the basic needs of their families, and you also consider the employer community where there's thousands of job opportunities that are available in Arizona where we don't have the workforce necessary to meet those demands. We've got to bridge that gap, and we've got to do it quickly. We can't put together a 5-year plan in order to do this. This is something that we've got to start making meaningful inroads on immediately. So we're going to be engaging in all of the partner entities and moving forward with WIOA principles in order to ensure that this happens rapidly.
What about from your perspective, Patricia?
I love what Michael said, and I think that there's never been a time in history that we've been more aligned and more primed to be able to take this opportunity and really harness the potential that these 4 core partners offer. And so I'm very excited to see where we're able to go, and I think with leveraging the innovation and the opportunity components, this is going to be an amazing system.
Kristen, Beverly, do you have anything to add?
I would just like to state that the communication between the core partners has never been more fluid. We are able to talk about potential barriers, talk about resolutions, and implement those resolutions. The feelings across the core partners is that we want to work together to get this done. And we are doing it for the greater good of the individuals we serve and the employers as well.
Working together is so important under this new law. Beverly, what are your thoughts on how you hope that the partner staff can work together?
I think that we're off to a great beginning. I really think that our core partners are starting to form the bridges that we need to serve our clients and our residents better in the state of Arizona. I also think that we have an opportunity to develop some joint vision statements and really help us focus the work on what we bring to the table and what we do best in each of our core partners. I also think continued joint training programs, because we know we have staff turnover, and it's really important that training happens on an ongoing basis so that folks get up to speed as quickly as they can so that our clients don't have any gaps in their services.
What about you, Patricia? What do you hope for in collaboration?
Well, I think that, like Beverly, we're off to a great start. I think Arizona is primed in the way that we're thinking about WIOA and the ways in which we're able to implement. I think that we're going to seek to understand and definitely listen and have other conversations so that we're able to really harness the potential of this new law and really, truly implement its true spirit.
Yeah, for me, I really feel like I hope that we don't lose the meaning of the two words core and partner as we go through this. I think, you really can get caught up in the insanity of the day-to-day and lose, I think, the overarching collaboration and communication that has to occur for us to collectively be successful.
And Kristen, do you have anything to add?
Just that open and honest communication between the partners is really what's going to drive the workforce system forward. And we're off to a great start with that here.
And another critical piece of the law and how the system works is the local workforce boards. Patricia, can you explain what the workforce boards are and how they impact the system?
Absolutely. The workforce development boards are designed to oversee and guide and advise the workforce system. And so therefore the workforce development boards are a critical piece to the way in which we're able to implement this law. And so each local area has a workforce development board that is comprised of businesses, community-based organizations, and mandated partners. And with that mixture and through those entities, we're able to really make sure that the true spirit of the law is not only implemented, but that it's also looked upon from all those different angles and perspectives so that we can make sure that we're really thinking through everything that we need to think through from a comprehensive standpoint.
Michael?
Arizona is a wonderfully diverse state. And we're relying on the local workforce boards to inform us about what will be most impactful in their community. So we're going to be leveraging that information and ensuring that we are meeting the community where its needs exists.
Beverly, what do you think about the board's thoughts on that?
I think it's wonderful that the WIOA mandates that the core partners are represented on those local regional workforce boards. That's not been the case before WIOA was implemented. So I think it's a wonderful opportunity for everyone to have an equal voice to help collaborate and bring the service delivery system together for WIOA to help the residents in that local workforce area.
Great. Any final thoughts before we wrap up? Does anyone have anything else they'd like to add about the law, collaboration, or partnerships?
I'd like to add that I really think that the partners have a true respect and spirit of implementing this law, and I think that is such a critical foundation to make sure that we are able to do what's ahead of us. So I'm really excited about what's ahead.
Adding on to the looking at what's ahead, I'm excited about understanding the challenges that are in front of us, but knowing that we're going in into this fight together, I think makes it less daunting and more possible, which is only going to lead to better outcomes for the individuals in our communities.
And I think keeping our clients, our students front and center is just essential, because there will be obstacles and challenges, and there will be times when it gets tough moving through the obstacles that we may have. But if we continue to think about those folks that we're serving in our communities and in Arizona, we will all be better off for that.
And I just think it's so exciting to be able to look at those potentially obstacles and challenges and try to think of opportunities and develop new and innovative ways in the way the spirit of the law intends to be able to, achieve those outcomes that we're all looking forward to achieving together. And if we can harness our resources and our knowledge, we can better serve our clients, employers, and the community.
Well, that was fantastic. Thank you all for sharing your thoughts about how we can all work together and how we can make Arizona a better place through our communities.